quick kind of rundown about us and about our trucks. We run e-logs through PeopleNet. That's our service provider. The e-logs are electronic logs, e-logs for short. Just kind of keep track of everything that a truck driver does in the day. They're only allowed to drive 11 hours or work 14 hours a day, whichever comes first. 98% of our trucks are automatic. 95% of our trucks are Volvos. We're starting to get a lot more of these Kenworths in. We have about 20 of them right now. Automatics is just easier on the truck, easier on the driver, less maintenance, less driver error, and they're a lot easier to drive in the city when you're sitting in traffic. Yeah.
My biggest thing with four-wheelers, that's what we call the regular vehicles, is slamming on the brakes in front of me. Now, I'm taught to minimize the damage. So I want you all to know, if you get in front of me and you hit your brakes and I'm going 55 miles an hour, I am not going to swerve and take out a family that had nothing to do with the mistake you made. I'm going to try my best to stop, but if I can't stop, I'm going to end up in your backseat saying hi to you. And I'm pretty sure you're not going to be happy to see me. So never ever get in front of a truck at a high speed and slam on your brakes. You got to imagine, it takes me a football field and a half to come to a complete stop when I'm loaded at 80,000 pounds going 55 miles an hour. So I don't want to have an accident, even if it's your fault. Because the highway patrol, they say something like, the person with the most lug nuts win. So there's no way that you can beat a truck. So always give a truck as much respect as you can. I treat everybody as if they can make a mistake. You always want to think of an out. When you're driving on the road and you're next to a truck, what you want to think about, if this truck do this, what am I going to do? And that's going to keep you out of some bad situations if you always think of an exit plan.
All of our trailers are 14 foot high and 53 foot, unless we have specific customer requirements. Then we have a few 48 foot trailers. Trailer length and sleeper length, we call these sleepers because you can sleep in them, obviously, are 65 feet long, so it's about driving a 6-story building around. Yeah, fully loaded, they can weigh 80,000 pounds, 45,000 pounds of that goes inside the trailer. Everything else is truck and trailer. So stopping these at full speed can be about a football to a football length and a half, depending on the speed.
No, they're not, because you got to imagine, any profession you have unprofessional people. So any profession, cops, firefighters, doctors, teachers, any profession you have in this world, you can find people that are unprofessional. So you really want to basically look at them all as they're unprofessional and just make sure you always have an out. I'm a truck driver and I do the same thing. I don't ride in clusters. I refuse to ride in a cluster. If trucks are on the side of me and I can't pass them and get away from them, I slow down. It's just the best thing to do.
What are some of your biggest challenges?
Other drivers on the road just not really knowing, what it's like to be in a truck, in a big rig, thinking that, if they're riding in front of us, that we can stop as fast as they can. We really can't, and we got a little demo up here coming up. People always cutting us off, or
I'm sorry.
So right here, what I want to do is I want to make a left turn. So if you look here, I want to make a left turn in between these two yellow lines. If I cut this turn right now, I'll probably end up on top of the corner. So we purposely have to turn wide. So when you see a truck turning wide, it's not because I'm being an idiot, it's because we have to make the turn. It could be a kid on the corner, it can be a light pole, it can be anything. So I have to come out this far, then turn my truck, watch those back tires, and then come back into the lane. And just like that, it lines back up straight.
We get a lot of people that, especially at night, they'll drive with their high beams on. Your high beams are visible up to 500 feet away in front of you.
Yeah.
So it's nicer now. A lot of the new cars, if you have your high beams on, they'll automatically turn off if they notice or they sense a vehicle coming in their direction. But a lot of the older vehicles still don't, especially little cars like to drive with their high beams on, thinking it doesn't really make a difference, but it does. Especially at night, that's all you see is a big glaring white beam, and it's just kind of like you gotta put your hand up and you gotta kind of block it out, but it's tough.
So you always got to give us our space, and anytime you see a truck with their hazard lights on, you want to determine what the hazard is before you proceed. You might see us going up the Grapevine with our hazards on. Like, what's the hazard there? We're going 30 miles an hour because of the incline. That's the reason I put my hazards on, because I am a hazard. I'm going slower than regular traffic on the road. So you always want to watch that.
How long are you guys on the road?
Our company specifically,
No, you as a driver daily. How many hours do you usually put on the road?
it depends. It's all about trip planning. You can drive as many hours as you want, or as many hours as they'll let you, or you can drive as little hours as they'll let you. Depends on how fast you want to get to your appointment, or how early you want to get to your appointment. I like to, most of our trips are 2-day trips, so I like to drive hard the first day so I can take it easy the next day. If I gotta load up to Seattle, I'll drive a full 10 hours the first day. That way the second day I only have to drive 8.
Yeah.
You know, or going into Denver, I'll drive 10 hours the first day and drive 7 hours the next day.
Another thing is merging onto the freeway. Anytime you're merging onto the freeway, I want you to always make your mind up and stick to it. You in a car, you accelerate faster than me, you brake faster than me, you turn better than me. So my job is to make sure you get on the freeway. No driver wants to have an accident on their record. If we only get 2 types of accidents, preventable or non-preventable. Even too many non-preventable accidents make you look like a bad driver, makes you look like you're not good at driving for other people. So we don't want to have any accidents. So when you are merging onto the freeway, what happens is they stutter step. So you say, oh, this truck is too close. So they speed up, then they slow down. Then they speed up, then they slow down. So what I'm waiting for you to do is make your mind up so I can make my mind up. If you guys speed up, I'ma slow down. If you slow down, I'ma speed up. So please, whatever you decide to do, stick to it, and we're gonna make sure you get on the freeway.
So this little setup right here, there's 2 little cones on the right side of the truck. The white vehicle got up to 15 miles an hour and then stopped, and that's where it ended up. We're gonna get up to 15 miles an hour with our empty trailer and then stop, and you'll be able to see the stopping difference in the truck and the car with an empty trailer at 15 miles an hour.
Okay.
You know, let alone highway speeds with a loaded trailer. So if you want to hang on a little bit, we're gonna get a little bumpy. You ready, Dustin?
Ready?
All right. So if you look in the rearview mirror, I actually stopped it a little faster than we normally do, but we're about a full truck length in front of that car.
Yeah.
That's 65 feet at 15 miles an hour. You know, so if you're driving in too close, if you cut off a truck and then decide to you know, brake check them for whatever reason, even at 15 miles an hour, they won't be able to stop.
Wow.
What we did here is we did a start-stop test. We got this white truck here up to 20 miles an hour and hit the brakes. We got the other truck, which is empty, up to 20 miles an hour and hit the brakes and stopped at that first pylon there. We got this truck up to 20 miles an hour and it stopped at the last pylon down there. So I'm gonna do the same in the truck with you guys inside. I'm gonna show you the start-stop test. When I get up to 20, I'm gonna hit the brakes. Don't worry, I'm not gonna hit them super hard because we never brake hard in the truck. Because the brakes on the back tires, they can lock up and then it'll start jumping. If that happens, it's possible it can jackknife. All right, so here we go. When I get up to 20, that's when I'm gonna hit the brakes. Now, if you get up and if you guys look in that mirror back there, I'm gonna try to turn that mirror. Look how far back that truck is from where we stopped. That's the difference. So you always want to make sure you give a truck enough respect before getting in front of them and hitting your brakes.
Like I said, we put a lot of weight on our trailers. A lot of our customers like to ship heavy, so a lot of our loads are over 40,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, all of our trucks are governed at 63 miles an hour, so you won't see us going over that unless you're going downhill. And even then, a lot of guys like to stick below 60, especially driving in California. It's not safe. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. What a lot of people don't really understand is that, like I had one guy earlier saying, how come you guys drive so slow on the freeway? Well, speed limit for a regular vehicle is 65 and 55 for a commercial vehicle, or any vehicle towing a trailer. And he said, what does that mean? I said, well, if you're in your pickup truck and you're towing your toy hauler or your trailer or a flatbed, anything like that, a cement mixer, you're only allowed to go 55 miles an hour, and you have to stick in the right 2 lanes. I see a lot of people driving U-Haul trucks or U-Haul trailers not knowing the law, and they'll actually be driving in the carpool lane.
Right.
They're just asking for CHP to pull them over and give them a ticket.
A good way to judge the distance, if you're following me too close. If you can't see the driver in the driver's side mirror, I can't see you. From behind. If you're ever directly behind me and you can't see me in this driver's side mirror, just know that I can't see you. That's the rule of thumb. If I see you, you see me. So you want to make sure if you're tailgating the truck, you always make sure you can see him or her in that driver's side mirror.
Why would you want to see me? This just kind of
It's just, I just want
to see me from behind.
I just always want to know you're there. I just want to know that you're there. A truck driver anything can happen, and I can probably want to back up. Let's say we're at a light, and I decide I'm gonna back up, and I look in my mirror and I say it's clear. I'm gonna go ahead and back up. But if you're directly behind me, I won't even know you're there.
Okay.
There's no
No
cameras.
backup cams.
No, not yet. They're working on that technology. We change trailers so much that it's kind of hard to keep it. So they're trying to create something that's like a Bluetooth camera, where when you disconnect your trailer and hook up the trailer, it connects to that camera. So that technology will be here. We might see autonomous trucks before we see that technology, though. They're working on these autonomous trucks because the millennials, they don't want to drive a truck. It's very hard to get the young adults to drive trucks. It's like they don't even want to drive regular vehicles, let alone drive trucks. So it's becoming very, very tough. And you got to imagine, everything we use, it comes inside of a truck. We need a truck. Without a truck, they'll have us walking to Utah to get our food.
Yeah.
So we need trucks, your glasses, your jacket, the lumber on the house, the carpet in your house, everything been inside of a truck. And I didn't even think of that until I became a truck driver. And the things I was picking up, I was like, oh wow, everything we use, it comes inside of a truck. Even the car you drove here, it came on a train and then it got on a truck. Or maybe a truck to a train.
We got a lot of mirrors, but you can't see everything.
Yeah, our blind spots are pretty big and we have a lot of them. A common expression is, if you can't see me in the mirror, I can't see you.
Right.
Even if I can see you in the mirror, just because you saw me doesn't mean I saw you.
Right.
I like to tell guys, be a bobblehead when you're in the truck. So you're looking this way, you're looking that way, you're looking over here, you're looking this way. So if you're passing me on the right side, but I'm looking on this side, you saw my face in the mirror, but that doesn't mean I saw you.
Exactly.
So be wary when you're driving around truckers. I always tell my wife or my friends, don't stick around them too long. Pass them if you can, or stay behind them if you can. It's tough for us out there because, like you said, our blind spots are pretty big.
Yeah.
You know?
Are you around the whole country, or do you have?
Yes, I run. Our company only runs 11 Western because our trailers are 14 feet high. By them being standard is 13.6. By our trailers being so high, we can't go on the other side of the Mississippi.
Okay.
So we have to stay 11 Western, which is what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of a millennial myself, so I don't want to be going 48 states, so I can understand.
We have a trailer over there, kind of outlines the general idea of our blind spots. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I know some guys that have been in so many accidents, but none of them were their fault. 80% of accidents that a big rig is involved in with we call them four-wheelers, but a regular car, 80% of the time it's the other car's fault.
Right.
Yeah, so.
We have some literature and some things on our desk over there. Feel free to stop by and pick something up. Also, anyone you see with a KKW shirt on, you can stop them and ask them any question you would like to ask them.
you're going over the grapevine, going down. Sometimes there's a lot of wind. How you guys slow down a lot when you pull over?
Yes, if it's too windy and I'm empty, I wouldn't even go through the wind.
Okay.
But if I'm loaded, that'll stop the wind from pushing me over.
Okay.
So you want to be loaded if you're in bad conditions, because you want to be heavier.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that as well.
It happens.
You know, you
We
sit
get
on the 91
complacent.
freeway and
Yeah.
you just want to get into that spot, so you find yourself kind of
Right,
your way over.
right.
But
All right. Thank you all for taking a ride with me. Feel free to ask any question. And when you see a KKW truck on the road, just know we're looking out for you.
Well, it's a remarkable perspective because you know your average driver is never going to have the experience of seeing what a trucker is seeing from the cab. And I've driven a lot of interstate miles, and you know it's just amazing to me that the visibility or the lack of visibility, and how masterfully you have to maneuver through all of these things. I had an intellectual appreciation of what the trucker, but to actually sit in the cab and to see what you can see as the driver of the rig, it really gives you a lot of insight in how I should conduct myself if I'm on the road in the vicinity of a truck.
Right. So what would you say to parents out there with kids getting ready to get into this driving world about this event?
About this particular event, I mean, it is a real eye-opener. I hope my daughter learns a lot from it. I know I learned a lot from it. You can even ask her.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming out.